Lovers Quarrel. It's a long, sustained quarrel.
What's going on, world?
Hey, everybody.
It's your guy, TJ, Mr. New Cool.
And it's your girl, Dani, your relatively repressed reindeer.
I didn't sound check this, but we're going to keep it going.
Okay.
How you doing, Dani?
I'm okay. I am a little tired.
When
am I not tired?
exactly. Doesn't every day of the week end in day? Like,
It's ending Y if you're going to be taking shots.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they all end in day.
Yeah, but the saying is only on days that end in Y.
Well, I don't follow a goddamn saying, goddamn it.
Oh
This is another episode of Lovers Quarrel, and I'm your
Host.
yeah. There you go. That's why I married you. You pick me up when I'm going down.
I'm done.
I'm TJ. That's Dani.
Yes.
That's Dani. I'm TJ. Welcome to another episode of Lovers Quarrel. If it's your first time listening to us, thank you. If it's your second time listening to us, welcome back. If it's your third time or more, you're family. You're a lover to me. So we thank you.
From the bottom of our hearts.
And yeah, what's going on, love? Are we gonna just jump into the elevator or?
We can. I'm good. I'm ready for break, winter break.
Okay.
But
Yeah, it's
the
around
3
that
weeks
time.
between Thanksgiving and Christmas as an educator are also not for the faint of heart. And today was the day we're recording, it was a long day because it's also cold and flu season. So people were out sick and half of my kids couldn't have gym. So then we had to keep the kids. So I had no planning. And then I had to cover lunch because the person who normally covers lunch was covering another teacher's class. So I had to cover lunch with my middle schoolers and then go back to taking my kids upstairs. So I was kind of tapped out. We didn't get a lot done because I didn't get a chance to get a break or get prepared, make the copies that I would normally make in the middle of the day. So, but it is what it is. You just kind of take one for the team. But how about you? How are you doing, my good sir?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm doing well.
Okay.
Closing down busy season at work to just start out the busy season. Had my first work trip.
How was that?
It was great. That's kind of going into my elevator. So
Okay, so
if you want to get more specific, can we go up?
Okay, so you're gonna start up the elevator. We are going up.
So I went to Anaheim,
California. Ooh.
went to my first AFA, which is the Advising Council of Fraternity and Sorority. No, sorry.
Those are a lot of letters that you didn't include.
What?
You said the AFA.
It's called AFA.
But there's a C and there's an S.
Why is there a C and an S?
You said the Advising Council of Fraternity and Sorority.
It's the Association of Fraternity Sorority Advisors. There you go.
AFSA.
No, just AFA. Just AFA. That's what they call it. I don't know.
So
Listen.
they just leave the sororities out. The S is silent.
I didn't even think about that.
I did.
Well, you're a part of a sorority. Anyway,
Go ahead.
My first AFA, very different. I seen Towson, all of Towson's old
Advisors.
Greek advisors, Greek council, Greek coordinators were there.
Greek life coordinators.
Yeah, so that was funny, kind of full circle for me. And then, just got to see Anaheim. I got to see your cousin.
I know, I'm so jealous. She texted me 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I got to see her. And
I miss her.
And Brian, and that was cool. And went to her company party.
How was that?
It was cool. So they had 2 hotels because they have over 4,000 people, and the caps in the hotels is 2,000. So one side of the company had to go to one place, the other side had to go to another place.
So there's 2 parties at the same time.
Exactly.
That's insane.
That's just saying that to say how big they are. But so that was a good time, good business trip. I can see how business trips, I can see how people can miss their family and don't like to travel because all I wanted. And then I was just okay, how am I gonna get back? Not how I'm gonna get back, but when am I gonna get back? And I didn't tell Tatum I was leaving because I didn't want her to have a bad day. But then she FaceTimed me you left me. I'm like, oh,
she did.
no. What else happened?
And she called you on her fake phone and was like, "Hi, Daddy. I'm in the car. Yeah, you left me." That's what she told me.
Yeah, so.
But she was very excited to see you when you picked her up. Or when we picked you up, excuse me.
She was, so. That was dope. Another happy moment was right before I left, I gave my grandfather one of my business cards, and he was like really proud of that.
He was.
And it was just a small thing that, you know, I guess I take for granted that I have a business card.
I don't, so yeah.
You don't what?
Have business cards.
I mean, you're a teacher. You don't need no goddamn business card.
Listen, I do the most
Technically,
important.
you can have your own business card.
You can.
Exactly. But
Danny Byerson, reporting for duty.
it's not about you, see?
It's not about me.
You're trying to take away from this happy moment and make it about you. It's not about you, Danny.
Okay, I apologize.
Yeah. Get on your, you know, when you on your elevator, you can say whatever you want. It's my elevator, goddammit.
Okay, continue, my good sir. Go ahead.
So that was just it. It was just that. It was a joyous moment for me to see my grandfather be proud of something that is so small, but he made it like big.
Because you are big time.
I'm regular.
You're pretty important.
With that, I yield.
Thank you for that. And I'm glad that you had such like highlights from the last week or so to share out with everybody. Now, me on the other hand, I am going down. So
Debbie Downer.
First of all, I haven't had a down in like a long time. Why do I have to shush?
Too loud.
I'm too.
Go ahead.
Are you?
Go ahead.
What the fuck is a? You know what? Y'all, this is gonna be the last episode of Lovers Quarrel because I'm gonna fight TJ. Oh wait, I can't say that either because I don't want to. We're not promoting domestic violence.
Oh.
But.
Oh yeah, that also goes on my elevator. But go ahead.
Okay.
Let's go back to you.
No, go ahead. You do yours. You'll stay up before we go down.
All right. Yeah. So we did Rock Show.
Yes.
Which he got to stump you, and he was so ecstatic. So
indubitably, yes.
Happy for him. Even though, I mean, you prefaced it, so I don't know.
It's all good. I can own.
Anyway,
I don't know everything.
And then we did Rock Show, and then we also
Humbly
did
Arrogant.
Carla's show.
Shit, I'm 30.
And those were just dope experiences.
Yes.
To be able to do that.
And Mandy from Horrible Decisions was our
engineer.
Our engineer for the episode. So, that was pretty cool. Seeing her, catching up with her.
So yeah, I want to make sure I don't forget them.
Yes, thank y'all for having us on.
And thank you for that opportunity. And, you know, thanks for the conversations and everything else. So go ahead, let's go back down.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm staring at him because I'm like, if he interrupts me one more time. So I guess the only things that were on my mind, so like yesterday I was pretty hot under the collar because I personally felt like someone that I work with tried it. And
do they listen to our show?
No, I don't think they even know.
Is that the reason why you're getting spicy with them?
No.
I'm just asking.
Because I'm not. I would say this anyway, and plus I address them directly.
Okay. I'm just asking, just inquiring.
But I do want to shout out my like work besties because I came to one of them when I was with my initial response and reaction and feelings, which were definitely a lot spicier because I felt some type of way, and ultimately it's something like. When you know, I don't know if any of you guys have ever had a coworker or a boss or just a peer, I don't know, somebody that you just know in the professional sense or in any sense who sometimes likes to, for lack of a better term, like martyr themselves, right? And then, or like is just easily perturbed. And so then now because you don't have the same energy, sometimes they, complain about it. And so that was kind of my experience this week. And some things were said in a communication that I felt like were directly trying to like come at my work ethic or my character. And so, I was upset. But I also that's why it's important to have work besties or, your spouse or your, whoever that you can like talk to and be like, do you believe this shit? And then they can kind of talk you down so that way you can have the conversation. But I am really proud of myself because, in another life, I would have not necessarily addressed it as immediately as I did or as directly as I did for fear of conflict. But I also felt like I wasn't wrong, and I know, matter of fact, I know I'm not wrong about how my take on the situation, because I'm not the only one that feels that way. And but no, I addressed it, and I used affective statements. I was just like, I felt that what I'm hearing is, so that way I wasn't coming in very like accusatory, but I still was able to speak my piece. So that part kind of like, but it still blew the shit out of me, because I felt like, don't fucking try me. Like, I'm not perfect. At my job, I'm not perfect, period. But I bust my ass just because I bust my ass in a different way than you doesn't mean I don't bust my ass any less than you, and I don't complain about it. And then my other thing too is, so Brother Nature was in the news this past week, and I just felt like that was like a testament, because at first I was like really like upset, not really upset. I'm saying really upset.
No, you were,
but I thought it was bullshit. I was like, oh my God, like who the fuck will put their hands on him like that? I was like, that's so whack. And it is like some clown shit to still, and I'll say this, I stand by what I said as far as like, it's clown shit, period, to like jump somebody, right? Because that just means that you couldn't fight them on your own. And Brother Nature was out somewhere, and apparently like there was an exchanging of words, but you know, when more information came out, it seems like Brother Nature might have been I don't know if he was the aggressor or the agitator of the situation, or maybe his response wasn't ideal, and then he ended up getting beat up, but then he got jumped. But then it was like, the thing about it was he got beat up, and then they like did it again. So I have like these mixed feelings about it, because on one hand it's like, now talking shit as much as it shouldn't, I tell my kids all the time, it shouldn't warrant you fighting or whatever. I also know that sometimes people feel like, okay, I've talked enough, now my hands are going to solve it. But then at the same time, that doesn't excuse like jumping somebody like 2-on-1, 3-on-1. So
from the video I seen, he didn't get jumped.
I think he got jumped outside.
Oh, outside? Okay.
It was twice. They came after him twice or whatever.
I just seen the first time, and that was a 1-on-1. But
yeah, so I mean, and it was also like, you know, one of the things is like, sometimes you have to, as I realize, and I don't necessarily get caught up in the hoopla too often, but it's just like, you should wait for like all the information to come out sometimes before you pass judgment.
All the time.
But
because if he started it,
yeah. But it's also like,
I mean, it doesn't make it right.
The guy was wrong for like, I feel like the guy was wrong also too for going on Twitter and like talking mad shit and stuff like that.
I mean, once you started recording,
yeah.
If I ever got into a fight and I seen someone was recording, you're gonna see me run. I don't want to be on no one's tape. I don't like. Everybody does stuff for clout.
Very much so.
And again, we don't know the situation, but even if Brother Nature was talking shit, once he's seen those cameras, once he's seen the camera come on, he should have been like, all right, you know
I'm
what?
out.
Let me walk away.
Yeah. But, you know, all in all,
I just feel like people do shit for the clout, and we live in a generation of clout. Everything's for clout.
Clout chasing, yeah. Yeah, people are...
But his situation does bring me somewhere, which I think we can quarrel about.
Okay. Do you want to write it down?
No.
You might forget by the end of the episode.
So I think we should quarrel about, should you jump in? Like, should you stop people
from getting their ass beat?
Like, if you see someone getting their ass beat, do you jump in? Or if you see a man hitting a woman, or you see a woman hitting a man, like, should you intervene?
Okay.
We can talk about that later. Because I already know where I think you're going.
Okay.
And I know where I'm going.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
Anything else?
Nope, that is
Let's get off this bullshit-ass elevator.
Oh, my gosh. All right. So now we are going to jump right into our relationship tip of the week.
I don't got one.
So therefore, I win.
No. I always got one. Even when I don't got one.
Yeah.
Let me hear your bullshit so I can fuck it up real quick.
Whatever. My relationship tip of the week, and this one does apply to all ships, is that trials and tribulations are definitely a factor in relationships, but they shouldn't be a mainstay, meaning like every long-term relationship, from relatives to friends to significant other, anytime you're together for an extended period of time, you're going to have peaks and valleys. Like, you're going to have dark times, you're going to have great times. But I just feel like when I think about our relationship, when I think about other relationships of people that we know or heard of, that have shared their story, that hard times are a part of life, period.
Facts.
But when it comes to relationships, when it comes to things that you can kind of choose to be in, that hard times should not be like the cornerstone of your relationship.
Cornerstone meaning like the mainstay?
Yes.
Okay.
I said mainstay in my initial statement.
I don't be listening to you sometimes. So.
I know you don't. So I think that that's like a big thing, because I feel like sometimes people think that like you have to like, oh, we've been through so much together, and I'm like, I guess it kind of lends itself to that like ride or die mentality.
I think people take that for granted though.
Take what for granted?
Like, you can grow up with somebody and you take that friend for granted.
Oh, yeah.
You take that individual for granted. Or you can be married to somebody for 15 years and you're taking them for granted.
I think that's true, too. I think that's definitely a possibility that can happen. But saying that all to say, I just think that a relationship is never going to be always sunny days and blue skies. But excuse me. But at the same time, a relationship should not also be like hard times, dark times, struggle and strife and fighting and everything like that, just because like there's longevity there's history there. Like, you can choose a better outcome. You can choose a better person to associate yourself with in that manner. And so, you want to weather. You want to grow from it, but sometimes you grow with it, and sometimes you grow like apart. Like, sometimes you grow together, sometimes you grow apart, and there's nothing wrong with growing apart either. Especially if you grow with it and things get better, then that's one thing. But if you're still with the same person and you're in the same type of relationship, and things are never getting better or never getting easier, I'm saying that you're turning the corner from, oh, we're going through a rough patch, oh, we're going through hard times, oh, this is a difficult portion of our relationship, but we're going to come out on the other side of it better and stronger, to I'm just like existing in this like dark space. So
is your tip not to exist?
My tip is to understand that hard times are a factor, are a part of relationships, but that don't think that they have to be like the headline, the feature, the cornerstone of your relationship. Because I think people sometimes get that mixed up. Like, me and you have been through really hard times together.
Facts.
But
at one time, some real hard times.
But
almost left you.
But they are not the cornerstone of our relationship.
They're not.
So
even though there was a time I felt like that. That's all it was. But
I told you, I was like, I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
That's because you were the one putting the dirt.
No.
In the tunnel.
But that's because I'm also an optimist. But
whatever.
But I told you that we were going to have better times. You just didn't believe me.
Yeah, it's easy for you to say when you were the one. You was the puppet master, so.
I'm not the puppet master.
You were.
I knew it. So.
Anyway. My tip
is
real simple. When lending money to a friend, a partner, whomever.
Don't.
Well, besides don't. But if you are, you should lend what you feel comfortable not getting back.
Oh, yeah.
And what I mean by that is if you are willing to give up $200 or $300, $400, whatever your max is, that if you did not get it back, you would be okay, then that should be what you're willing to do.
Okay.
And then I would say learn from it. There will be some people who will be like, I'm going to cut that person off forever. I don't think you necessarily need to cut anybody off, but just know, So if you lend someone $20 and never pay you back, it only took $20 for you to know you never have to lend that person money again. Mm-hmm. And I just think that is that's something important that everyone should have.
I can agree with that. Like, you don't lend money that you're not able to, like,
never see again.
Yeah, like, you need to be comfortable knowing that, like, if I never see this money again, it won't impact my bottom line. It
won't impact your bottom line, but it will teach you a lesson that you can't lend that person money no more.
Fair.
So if it only takes $20 to never have to lend that person money again.
Mm-hmm. Would you want $20 back?
Would I want $20 back? If you ask me to borrow $20, yes. I want whatever. If you ask me to borrow 5 cents, I want my 5 cents.
So if I asked you to borrow $20, you want me to give you back $20, even though maybe down the line I'm going to give you $20.
You're asking me to borrow $20. I would expect you to give me back $20. It's different between saying, "Can I have $20?"
So I have a question.
Serious as cancer.
All those times that you asked me for $20 for your haircut, and I never see it again. Was that borrowing?
I never say, "Let me borrow $20."
So you just go.
I said, "Let me get $20."
Wow,
it's a difference.
So always you
context.
You got cash.
Words are important.
Wow.
Right?
So
are words not important?
TJ got me out here tricking on his fucking haircuts.
You're a hater, yo.
I'm not. I'm just making sure. I don't know if you owe me what you owe
I
me.
don't owe you anything. If
you
anything, you owe me.
How?
I'm always giving you money. I'm always paying for shit.
You're always giving me money? You are not always giving me money.
Okay.
When's the last time you gave me money?
3 weeks ago.
For what?
Or 4 weeks ago. It was a while back.
For what?
I sent you $50. You was out and about. I sent you money.
When you went to your bachelor party trip and you sent me money, you cash out me or whatever.
Okay. I made sure that you had some money. Hey, do you need some money? You said sure, and I sent you money.
You offered, so that's different. I didn't ask. I didn't ask for a loan.
No one said that you asked for a loan. What are you talking about?
Oh, so you said, oh, you're right. So
you just said, when's the last time
I gave you money? Okay.
Exactly.
So you gave me money. Okay. All right. So you did give me money. But at the same time, what was the last time before that?
I don't know, nigga.
Years, my nigga.
Damn. You're out here just trying to...
Sorry, I'm choking.
Find stuff that has nothing to do with anything.
Okay. Well, I think my tip was better.
Fuck no. Your shit was long-winded.
I'm long-winded, so...
You are very long-winded. You just be talking and talking and talking and talking and talking.
Well, I know.
And then I'd be like, hey, can I please just get a point in? And then I can't.
I have a lot to say, and I like to choose my words carefully, which causes me to sometimes use more words than...
Everyone tells me that whenever we have interviews, I don't really be saying much. And I'd be like, I can't say much because Danny gonna say everything.
Okay, so next interview we have, I'm not saying shit.
You just be rapping.
But you don't even be like...
The whole time.
You don't have like... That
First
organic,
off,
like, jump in. You always be like,
I do.
It's a very natural thing.
I do jump
when
in.
I'm asking questions, and then you'll be like, number 6. What is the...
That's not true.
Okay.
That is not true.
But next interview we have, whoever we're interviewing next, I'm not saying a word.
No. I'm talking about...
I'll be like, yep.
When we're guests on other shows, they say that they said, oh, Danny is the A mic, which you are. I'm okay with that. But I'd be like, she's the A mic because all she does is fucking talk. She a diva.
So I'm a diva?
You know what I mean?
That's all I... Okay.
Comes in late. Comes in unprepared.
First of all, who was prepared for this episode? Who had their tip? Who had their
okay.
What else? What is the word? My
so
elevator
93 to 7%.
No.
You're 7%.
No.
Let's just be honest.
You walked in here like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
And yet I came on ready to perform.
I mean,
ready to perform.
Ready. This is why you be trying to get me tripped up on my fucking words when I gotta spell shit because you mispronounced it.
Well, let's see if I mispronounce this.
Go ahead.
Word of the week. Laconic. Laconic is the adjective that describes a style of speaking or writing that uses only a few words, often to express complex thoughts and ideas. A more laconic way to write that last sentence might be this. Laconic means brief. So one may say, Danny is never laconic. Mm-hmm. And that's all.
Oh.
Go spell it, Danny.
Laconic.
Wrong.
Really?
No, you got it right.
Oh, what to say?
You know.
You always want to try to trip me up.
Sometimes.
I got stumped with indubitably, even though I knew I wasn't going to spell it right. But, yeah, I don't have to be laconic.
I wish you were laconic.
No, you don't.
I do. Sometimes I wish you were just brief. Straight to the point.
Okay.
Is it hot outside?
No.
Yes or no? Exactly. Now, if I ask you that, you're going to be like, well, no, the temperature says it's 78 degrees. And, while that may be hot in some areas, in other areas, that's not hot. And I'm Danielle.
I'll be laconic for the remainder of this episode. And let's see how the rest of the episode goes.
Now you A-Mike. Come on, stop playing. And on that note, listen, we're going to take a break. You're going to hear a message from our sponsor, Gaines Sports Gear. That's GAINZ Sports Gear. And you can go to their website, GainesSportsGear.com. Now, let's hear this message, and then we'll be back with the rest of the show.
Hey friend, it's time for you to ditch those workout gloves and get the grip and wrist support you deserve. What do you suggest? You need to get the Gaines Load and Lock grips by Gaines Sports Gear. They are more durable than gloves, have a non-slip grip pad that provides grip support and added wrist support unlike your traditional workout gloves, and will protect your hands from calluses. Do they come in different colors? Not only do they come in different colors, but they are available for men and women. Do yourself a favor, go to GainesSportsGear.com. And remember, a better grip equals a better lift. Embrace the process.
And you too can embrace the process by using our code LOVERS10 at Gaines, GAINZ Sportsgear.com. Listen, it's the winter. They say that bodies are built in the winter.
Summer bodies are built in the winter.
There you go. Whatever. That's why I keep you around, Dani. Mm-hmm. So listen,
to clean up your mess.
You can build a summer body now by going to Gaines, GAINZ Sportsgear.com, using our code LOVERS10 and get all your workout gear that you need. I'm talking about hand wraps. I'm talking about
wrist grips.
I'm talking about fire apparel.
They got crop tops.
That's where you go with it. Listen, don't take our word for it. Go to the website, see the amazing stuff that Gaines is putting out, and now back to the episode. And now we're back, y'all.
Yep. And it is time for a listener letter.
I like to call it a lover letter, but...
A lover letter. A love note.
Ooh. A love note. That's hard.
Thank you.
Shout out to Dani.
I have my moment.
Even though she don't like calling y'all lovers, but...
You know. But I don't mind calling it a love note. So I'm going to jump right into it. You listening? Now, I don't want you to mistake me for being laconic. Not being laconic because I'm reading this letter, which is maybe a little bit more on the lengthy side. So there's no confusion, okay?
Well, because you're reading a love note, mm-hmm. They would already know that you're reading something. Now,
I'm not talking about our listeners. I'm talking about you.
Well, I know that. I'm just saying.
I know, but sometimes I just got to spell things out for you. That's all. So it says, "Hi, my faves. Was trying to be... the title of the email is, I won't be Emily Bede. It says, "Hi, my faves. Was trying to be creative with the title. I recently had a conversation with someone who has been a roller coaster in my life. Basically, the conversation was about him trying to grow as a better person so he could be a better person to me. At this point, we have stopped interacting in all aspects because of me and my all or nothing stance. So in short, I explained to him it's good he is working on himself, getting help to be a better man, therapy included. He says he wants to be a better man for me and in the future wants to be with me. He has been saying this for years, though. I have told him that I don't know anyone. I have told him that I don't know what the future holds, but I am not waiting on anyone and never plan to. So this is a two-part question. If men are not ready, why do they try to keep you around? Why do they not believe in growing and building together? And why do they have this preconceived notion a woman is going to wait? Part 2. Is a woman wrong for wanting to cut ties with a man who has done everything he said he... Is a woman wrong for wanting to cut ties with a man who has done everything he said he would do for himself, acknowledges he has not treated her like she deserves, but is still not ready to commit? And in summary, you guys have been together since teenagers. What makes it that some people can grow together and other people claim, quote unquote, to need to work on themselves to give someone else what they truly deserve? How can you tell an ain't shit nigga from a man who wants to seriously be better for you? I refuse to be an Emily B. and Fab situation. Looking forward to this discussion. Love. I don't know if she wants her name or not. Jade. So, Jade, thank you for the letter.
And thank you for being a lover.
Yes. It's like the president.
She's the president?
Yeah. She's the president. So
let's dissect this.
Yes. So basically, Jade's been dealing with a guy.
Ready, why do they try to keep you around?
Yeah.
I think that we try to keep you around because we selfish.
I mean,
if I had to say it, I think we want to keep you around because we don't want nobody else to get you, but we also know that we need to fix our shit. So it's kind of like
you want somebody on standby.
Yeah.
And that's unacceptable.
I mean, listen, everybody grow differently.
Yeah, but I just so I guess they try. I think being selfish is definitely a reason. And why do they not believe in growing and building together? I think because a lot of men want to be able to like be immature and be these like, you know, having one foot in the pond and one foot out like most of the time.
I disagree.
What do you think?
I think we don't want to lead you on in the sense that if we say we'll work it out, but we're still testing our options, someone's going to get hurt. So it's kind of like, it's better that I'm upfront with you and say, hey, I need to fix myself. I like you, but right now I'm just not the right person for you.
Yeah, but then I think the thing is like, then if that's what you say, and then it's like you do you. If the world and the universe decides
no, I'm not saying you do you now.
See, and that's where it comes back to what you originally said, which is the selfishness.
No. There is selfishness
because don't have me sitting around waiting for you to get your shit together. What if you never get it together and I'm letting life pass me by?
I mean, you can give me a deadline, but I'm being forthcoming by telling you, listen, right now a relationship isn't going to work. So it's better that we're not in a relationship and you allow me the opportunity to fix me, but I still need you to stay around because I need to make sure that you don't leave.
No, that's where you have me all the way up until I need you to stay around, so that I need to make sure you don't leave. Because then what if you become the better person that you want to be, and then now you find someone who matches your energy more than I match your energy, and now you've been wasting 1, 2, 3 years of my life. Fuck that.
So what if we're dating and then that same situation happens and I leave you? It'll be the same thing, right?
What do you mean?
Like me and you're dating, but now I found someone else who has a better energy. So now I'm gonna leave to go with a better energy.
Okay, but that's still like we're dating. We're not. We're not in limbo. Like if we're dating and you find that you meet somebody else, and then people break up and then they date other people.
I think growing and building together, because that was another question. I think it's tough to do because I think it can be tough. You just have to be ready.
I think you have to know you're growing in the same direction.
Yeah, no. I think it just depends on your circumstance. I feel like it was easier for me to grow with you because I've seen
patient as fuck.
You're patient as fuck. I changed your life for the better. Anyway.
Okay.
I seen the fuck shit that my brother went through.
Yeah.
And I seen the hurt and stuff from that. I've also seen like my cousins. I seen shit that made me I saw. Sorry. That's why you're A mic and I'm B mic. For real, I'm like a D mic. But anyway.
Lies.
I saw bullshit that I didn't want to have to deal with. So I think that
that's why you kept me around.
No, I mean I liked you. Mm-hmm. I liked you. I had feelings for you, and shit was working well. So my thing was I was in a mindset of if it ain't broke, why try to fix it? Like
that's so romantic.
What?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I think you're taking it out of the context. I'm saying like if everything is perfect, shit is perfect. So why would I say, you know, this next chick over here who, for the example, she's smaller than Danny, so she's everybody else's dream girl. Let me leave something that's perfect now just so I can have what everybody else thinks is beautiful or whatever the case may be. Or, you know,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
No, because you're being an asshole.
I get what you're saying. I also think, Jade, that like this preconceived notion that a woman's going away, I think it's because I think that's societal. I think that we have been reared in this society to think that like men are, you know, the male to female ratio is one where males are the hotter or the more rare commodity, and so therefore it's like, well, if I got one, I gotta hold on to him. I gotta wait for him to get it together because there may not be anyone else that comes along. I think that it's maybe a little bit of sexism in there. Like, men get to do whatever they want to do and figure out themselves, and women just kind of have to wait in the wings.
I think the preconceived notion comes because this is what women have done. I think
I'm telling you why I think they've done it.
They've done it because women have allowed it to be done.
Because we've been told that, like, you need to have a man, you got to have a husband, you got to start a family by a certain time. So if you don't have somebody on a roster, you don't have somebody ready to, like, scoop you up and claim you, it's like, and you don't have let me say this, if you don't have a line waiting out the door, so it's like, okay, I got to wait for this nigga to get his shit together, and then he'll come around, and then we'll be together. And I definitely think that, like, I'm not mad at Jay's all or nothing approach, because I think it's fine and dandy that this guy that you've been talking to is a work in progress and trying to get himself together, because that's important just as a person, because he needs to do that. But that's not your responsibility or your problem if he's not where he needs to be the type of man you need in a relationship. That just means that you have to move on. And it sounds like to me like you've given him an extended period of time to, like, get it together or to grow and build with you, as opposed to, like, with you standing on the sidelines.
So what I'm going to say is, to the other question, is it wrong for wanting to cut ties with a man who has done everything he said he would do for himself, acknowledges he has not treated you like he deserves, but is still not ready to commit? No.
Nope.
Cut ties. Fuck that nigga.
Peace out.
Listen, unless you are going to be devastated and heartbroken, and then even then, I would say that you would probably need to speak with somebody who can figure out why this person has such a spell on you. But no, it's nothing wrong with cutting ties. Cut ties, like
chopping and go off.
Honestly, I think women have to remember that they have the power.
Do we?
100%.
Okay.
100%. If the women were to mobilize and be like, listen, as a unit, we doing shit like this, there's nothing a guy can do or say.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
We should, if we united against men, y'all would be fucked.
We'd be fucked.
Yeah.
That's why women are more dangerous than men.
No, we're smarter, not more dangerous.
Smarter can be dangerous.
But they are still two different things. But I think that, like, yeah, I do agree with TJ with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to cut ties with somebody who's not there yet, because finding yourself and growing and developing and stuff like that, that's not an overnight process. That's like, okay, I'll be back in 3 weeks and then I'll be straight. That's years sometimes of development and working through the kinks and self-reflection and stuff. And if that's not the type of time you have, then you have every right to move on.
Or if it's not something that you want to commit to,
you have every right to move on. You could just like, I don't want to. I want to be with somebody who's ready to go, because I'm ready to go. And that is your prerogative. And like TJ and I, you know, because you mentioned, like, you know, we from being teenagers to adults now, and how we were able to kind of like grow together. But like I was trying to say is, like, TJ and I were also, even though we're vastly different people, right, we were still growing in the same trajectory in life. Like, we had the same kind of like aspirations, from schooling to living to home life to getting married to wanting a family. So we had these same goals in mind, even though we are still very much our own people, which is why I think it allowed for us to grow together. And and there was also necessarily a need of, like, I need to find myself. And I know that in situations like me and TJ, sometimes it can be very easy to be very codependent, but I think that, like, if you know yourself well enough, you could still grow as an individual and be in a successful relationship most of the time. And if you don't, if you can't do that, I should say, then you should leave everybody alone. Don't drag anybody along. That's not fair. That's selfish.
I mean, people are selfish, though. I mean, sometimes we have to be taught how to do things or how we want things done.
It's not for me to teach you. I teach children. I'm not teaching a grown man. Like, teach me how to love, that, like, that Music Soul Child song. Like, who has time for that? Because nobody taught, or maybe somebody did teach me how to love or whatever, and then that person moved on from me, or I moved on from that person.
You gotta have some type of patience
reasons and seasons,
sometimes.
my nigga.
All I'm saying is that I don't think there's nothing wrong with wanting to wait if you want to wait.
But don't wait long.
But if you feel like you can wait 3 years,
Plural years, too long.
Okay.
Couple of months,
You can
maybe a
agree to
year at
disagree.
max. After that, after the Earth has made one revolution around the sun, it's time to go. Reasons and seasons. I think that should be the episode title too.
You got it.
Jade, I hope whatever. I hope that this was helpful to you in some way, shape, or form. TJ and I pretty much were on board with how you feel, and tell your guy is to stay blessed.
How can you tell an ain't shit nigga from a man who wants to be seriously better for you? Because you out here just closing out letters.
I apologize.
See, that's what happens when you're an A mic diva.
I'm an A mic diva.
You know what I mean? Anyway, go ahead.
I think that you tell an ain't shit nigga from a man who wants to seriously be better for you because you see him doing the work, and I think you see him, but he also is still, honestly, maybe he's telling you that, like, yo, don't wait for me, and like,
without saying it,
or like I think he's saying to, I think a not ain't shit nigga is saying to you, I respect if you don't want to stick around while I'm trying to figure myself out. And then
yes,
when
I would agree with that.
And when I am back ready to be where I need to be, I will reach back out to you and see if you're in a space where you still want to give me a chance. To me, that's the stand-up guy thing to do. But being like, I gotta figure my stuff out, but I need you around and da-da-da. No, you want to be single and in a relationship at the same time. That's what that is. You trying to do both. Have your cake and eat it too.
All I'm gonna say, and I may get flack from my guys for this, but a lot of us ain't shit for real. So
Lots.
So I tell all my girl cousins, niggas ain't shit.
You're a great man and a husband. You still ain't shit sometimes.
Facts. You ain't never lie. So
Jade,
Jade, don't wait anymore, and definitely don't be Emily B and Fab. So
run away.
Because Fab hits.
First of all, so I still follow Fab. He does. Yeah, okay.
You missed that.
I didn't miss it. But, okay, speaking of Fab and Emily B, am I the only person who's noticed? Do you follow him on Instagram?
No, I definitely don't.
I follow him on Instagram, and I don't even remember following him. But anyway, he only very recently, in like the last few months, like literally since sometime during 2019, has started posting Emily in his like pictures. He used to never post her. It would be like Happy Mother's Day, but then, or it'd be like not even like, no, yeah, he wouldn't. The only time he would wish her, like, tell her like Happy Mother's Day, maybe Happy Birthday, and then like in whatever their Halloween themed like family costume was or whatever, and then you would never see her. And now he's putting all those like captions, and
he's growing up. I think that's why she's sad. She want to be Fab and Emily B, because she wants to be acknowledged now, not later.
Yeah, like, but that's 2 children later, and like, yeah, I don't know. It's something that doesn't feel right about that one.
I think when you realize that you about to lose something,
she was like, "You either post me on the Instagram or you going to jail."
I don't think that's what she said. Didn't
she said, "You going to jail? You going to jail?"
I don't think that's what she said, but
tag me so I know it's
speaking
real.
of Fab, did you see the joint? And they was doing the joint like, I cheat, she cheat, we cheaters.
Together?
No, it was
like, cheat, we cheat. Oh yeah,
it was like we cheaters, but it was like saying it like a Fab bar.
Yeah, they've been doing.
You probably don't understand what a Fab bar is.
I understand exactly what that is.
But anyway,
really,
I'm just saying.
Okay, and this is where you ain't shit. Jade, I hope that this helped. Excuse our tangent about Emily and Fab, but I don't think you're wrong. Do you, boo? Life is too short. Find you somebody who's already grounded and grown, and then be with them.
Yeah, what she said.
Yeah, because I'm the A mic diva.
Exactly.
Anyway, well, that wraps up our love note for this episode.
We got a new name. Shout out to you.
Because, that's what I do.
Exactly. A mic shit.
And now we are going to move on to our quarrel for this episode,
which I prefaced on earlier.
Senor TJ.
No, you already know what it is.
No, this was your idea.
No, Diva A. A Diva.
Go ahead.
I'm going to change your name. Continue. No longer you Danny. You're A Diva. The quarrel is going to be when you see people in a fight, a disagreement, but more so a fight. If you see someone in a fight, do you step in? You see two men fighting, do you step in? You see a man and woman fighting, do you step in? You see two women fighting, do you step in? See kids fighting, do you step in?
Okay. Two men, if it's a fair fight, I'm not stepping in. If somebody's getting jumped, I would probably call the police or something. I don't know. Wait, so let me see. What's that? Two men? No. A man, like, beating on a woman, then I'm probably going to call the police.
No, I said jump in. I didn't say...
Jump in. I may not jump. I mean, I may try to, like,
because
help her,
whenever there's, like, two people fighting or something going on, people always say, "What, why is everybody just watching, or why is everybody watching and recording or whatever?"
I would never record.
No, I didn't. You're not listening. Can I just go?
Yeah, go ahead.
So it made me think, because if I seen people fighting, I'm not getting into it. If I seen a man whooping a woman, I personally, I'm not jumping into it. I don't mind calling the police, but I just feel like, how many stories are there of people getting shot, stabbed, hurt, dead because they minded somebody else's business?
I mean, yeah, but I think that's the thing, though. I feel like certain things, yes, you mind your business or whatever. And that's why I said I don't necessarily think, I don't know if I would physically get involved, but I don't think in my conscience I could watch a man beat the shit out of a woman and just stand there and either pull out my phone and record it, but then not pull out my phone and call the cops.
I didn't say that you were going to do that. All I said was, would you stop it? Would you put yourself into a situation? You keep talking about other things that have nothing to do with anything.
Would I physically put myself into it? Probably not at first, because I don't want to get hurt or killed, but I would not just let it happen. Two children fighting, like if I see two 6-year-olds or 2 to 8-year-olds fighting, I'll break that up.
Two 13-year-olds.
Depends on the size of the 13-year-olds. I've broken up 13-year-old fights before.
No, those are your students. I'm talking about random. You walking down the block, you see two kids getting it in.
I'm going to say something.
You're better than I am, I guess.
I mean, I just feel like, but my thing is, this is like when...
In 2019, I do not trust anybody. And I say that to say that when you get into other people's business, you don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, you may break the fight up, and now you allowed one of them to get an opportunity to pull out their gun, and now they're firing, and now you're murdered. Or you stopped it, and now that domestic violence case that you stopped, now they're hurting you because you jumped into it. I just think that, for me, my safety is the most important thing.
It is, but then when do we have, like, but when does ownership of like it takes a village, or when does being a community matter, when it's like every man for himself? Because then, what would happen if the shoe was on the other foot? What if somebody was, if somebody was...
I would be okay with somebody calling the cops if I was getting beat up or whatever.
What if somebody was beating the shit out of me and everybody's just watching? A man is just... I got an argument with a man at the grocery store, and now he's like smacked the shit out of me or something like that. Or he's beating me up in the parking lot. Or it's a crazy person. That's or something fair. Like that. Then... And people just stood around and watching. They were like, not my monkey, not my circus.
I'm not saying that they have to necessarily just... I'm saying for me, though. I can't speak for anybody else. I'm saying for me, I do not want to jump into somebody else's mess, because I've heard too many stories of other people catching something that wasn't meant for them.
I know some... I mean, I know my next door neighbor, his dad died breaking up a domestic violence situation.
Okay.
He got, and so I understand it.
So that's my thing. I don't mind calling the police and saying, "Listen, but
that's what I was saying."
Okay. You said that you would break it up. I'm saying I'm not breaking up nothing.
It depends on who. It depends on the people involved.
I don't care who it is. Maybe if it was like a parent going ham on a child, maybe.
And honestly, I'm just saying. Part of me would want to if I felt like I could intervene without putting myself at risk and without getting the police involved, I might be inclined to do so. Because also too, like if it was two black people fighting and then you call the cops and then somebody's dead, like because now the cops don't want to take this.
I didn't even think about that.
They don't even want to take the time to figure out what the fuck is going on.
I can't even call the cops because they may get murdered.
Everybody keep their hands to yourselves. That's the problem. That's what it needs to be.
No, I just think it's an important thing to talk, because we always talk, especially on social media. Everybody talks about like what a man should do and how a man should react to things, but I don't think that we always take into consideration the shit that happens or the shit that can happen. Because I can go stop a fight, and now if I get murdered, what?
I understand. I get it. It's
we
a
tell
risk.
Tatum, hey, your father was a great man and he was trying to stop a fight.
It's absolutely
to me.
a risk.
To me, it's not worth it, especially because the way that people fight nowadays, the way people do things nowadays, there is no code, there's no morals, there's no respect.
But then how do we shift that back then, or take a shift when nobody's willing to get involved, but everybody's willing to record it?
I'm not saying I'm going to record it. I'm saying that I would call the cops.
I understand
Even
that.
though I would have to kind of be like, should I call the cops? Because depending on who it is, how big he is, what he looked like, they might shoot first, ask questions later. So now I'm in a crossroad.
You might be, because if there's a nigga, if there's a nigga that looks like you, that's same built as you fighting, and you're the one that calls the cop, and then if you stuck around to give a statement or whatever, they may not know who was the one fighting. Was it you or was it this nigga? And they not gonna figure it out, and they gonna come after you. That has happened. Like somebody that we've heard situations of too, where like the person who's called the police has been the one on the end of at the end of somebody's barrel of their gun. But my point I'm trying to make though is, what is it going to take for us as a community, and not just even black people, just people in general, to take a stand against like fuck shit? Because my thing too is, if me and you see some people getting in a fight, and then two other people across the street, and then the person walking down the block, and then the guy who's delivering the mail, if all 6-7 of us see the same bullshit, and we all say something or we all do something,
that's low. I mean,
that my thing
that can be different.
That is, but then I think that's like the shift that might need to happen, because then if it's only one person, because everybody has, and it's a thing too, it's like people have morbid curiosity. Everybody loves to watch a car wreck. People love I don't. People like to see.
I understand what you're saying.
See shit burn down in front of their eyes and not do anything about it, because they think the next person's gonna handle it. And this is I'm referencing my dad here or whatever, but he's always telling me about the story about Kitty Genovese, right? And Kitty Genovese was this woman in New York who was walking home or something like that, and she got attacked, and she was being like assaulted and murdered or whatever, and nobody called the police but when she was near some apartment buildings, and when they started to canvass the area and ask people what they heard, multiple people were like, yeah, I heard something, but I didn't want to get involved, or I thought somebody else was going to call the police or whatever. And it's like, it's that same. So had anybody actually done what they said that they were going to do, like stepped in even a tiny bit, she might have been alive. And so I feel as though I'm not saying that anybody should put their own safety at risk. I agree with you on that. But at the same time, I think that there's a fundamental issue with us as people, where we're willing to watch other people be humiliated, be embarrassed, be hurt, be killed, and never want, and not feel any type of like, damn, I could have done more, damn, I should have done something. And it's a catch-22 sometimes, because calling the police should be the safe alternative to inserting yourself into it, but it's not always.
My only thing with it is just, I have to think about myself, and then, I mean, that may come across selfish, but I have to think about myself, my family, and then I can make those decisions. Granted, I'm speaking on hypothetical situation, because I don't know what would happen if I seen something. I might just jump in without even thinking. Mm-hmm. But thinking, I'm saying I would not want to. I would not want to enter myself into somebody else's mess that it may blow back.
Or cost you your life or something like
that. Yeah, 100%.
And that's fair. And it's fair 100%. Too.
So
it's a catch-22.
I think we have those conversations because I've seen stuff that, something happened online and people be like, oh, nobody helped. And, I think it was like an old woman was getting beat up on the train station and people were recording. And I heard mad people were like, why didn't any man jump in? All this other stuff. And I'm just thinking like, if I was there, what would I have done?
I don't think I could stand by and watch an old person get beat up.
I also have to think that if somebody's crazy enough to beat on an old person, then they probably don't care about life.
I think the thing is like
and again, this is just me being candid on the situation.
I think that inaction. I think the worst thing that you could do is not do anything and record it on your phone. I think that the smart thing to do most times is to ideally, if you can, call the police. If it's something that's so out of pocket that you don't want to risk your own harm because I get it, and I would probably do the same thing. And also too though, I think sometimes when people are doing foul shit, sometimes it's like it's your place in your space. Sometimes you gotta you have to speak on it. Like
we've grown into a community that's no longer a community. Though.
Everybody's like, mind your fucking business.
Exactly.
But
back in the days,
I deal with it every day as a teacher.
I get, but I'm just saying, back in the days, a child acted up, any adult could speak to a child.
Yeah.
And now we're in a time that if a child if a child is being disrespectful and not a parent,
somebody other than a parent,
an adult says something, 9 times out of 10, that child's gonna be like, "Who the fuck are you talking to?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think that because of how times have changed, the people have changed. I know I have. And for me, ultimately, I just want to get home at night.
I get that.
And that's always going to be my mindset. I'm always going to have to think about the situation at hand, and then I'm going to have to assess it. Again,
this is depressing.
It is depressing, but it's something that I thought would be a great topic to discuss because there's so many people who's like, this is what you're supposed to do. And realistically, it's not. Like in a perfect world, of course, anybody can jump in and it's going to be that. But again, we also live in a world where fighting fair is not fighting fair. Mm-hmm. Because once somebody starts losing, now they got to get a weapon. And now it becomes who got the bigger weapon. That's why I would never fight anybody. You got it, bro. Call me pussy, call me whatever you want. You got it. I don't want no problems. Now, if I have to defend myself, of course I'm going to defend myself. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, a fight isn't a fight no more. Because, again, if you win, you got to remember that you won. And they want their win back.
But there's still people out there that do the right thing. Because, like,
100%.
Because I'm thinking about now, as horrible as it was and as a hot ass mess of it was, but that family that was, like, fighting at, like, Disneyland or Disney World or whatever. And, like, eventually, like, some other men came in and, like, put that nigga in a headlock and like something because he was like smacking the shit out of like his sister or his girlfriend or whoever, and they fighting and stuff like that. And of course, people are standing back and
now,
watching.
Now, if it's my family, that's different.
No, but I'm saying, but there were the other men that stepped in were not related to them.
I get that,
but he came. But they eventually like somebody came in and whatever.
I also think it depends on where you're from in the world.
How so?
Because I'm pretty sure there's some places like. And again, I may be off base, but I feel like in the South, like people from the South, they're taught certain manners. So if they seen something, they would be they'll be more quick to jump into the situation because it's like, don't disrespect a woman because like I got cousins, older, but they still like speaking yes ma'am, no ma'am. Mm-hmm. And to me, I'm in the North. I've never called mother ma'am. Mm-hmm. Yes, mom. So I just think that also plays a part. But I just
you were raised and things like
I just think about that stuff. I just think about how scary it is that doing the right thing can cost you your life.
I know, and I agree with you, but I also feel like I personally like within reason, and I'm gonna preface myself by saying that, like, there's certain things I feel like I couldn't stand for, because even as a teacher, like, if I see, there were two fourth grade boys doing the most, and as I'm like coming in the cafeteria and they're on their way out of the cafeteria, and I stopped them and I sat them down and I fussed them out and I made them talk it out and did it, and like I sent them on their way. It may not have worked. It may have worked for 30 seconds. It may have lasted the rest of the day. But the point is like I saw a problem and I addressed it. Now I get it, because my school is a bubble in a certain amount of way, a certain way, because I am an adult in that building. So therefore, like there's an air of authority that I already have because I'm an adult in that building. So I have to be someone. I'm a teacher or whatever. And then it's a small school or whatever. And I'm dealing with smaller children. I teach the oldest kids in the building. None of that is lost on me. But I also know that my first year there, when I didn't teach the older kids and the older kids were doing some dumb shit, I spoke on it. And I got some of that pushback too. Like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm Mrs. Byerson. What about it?
Yeah, I think that's a little different when it's in school, though.
Of course, but what I'm saying though is that it's also, but it's instilling. And even this time last year, I got caught. A parent was beating the shit out of their child, in front of the school, and somebody called the police or whatever. And I was simply trying to diffuse the situation at that point, and the parent of the mother of the child, when she got there, because that was her husband or whatever, she got mad at me and the a coworker of mine, and was like, y'all need to mind y'all business. Ma'am, your son is like lumped up in the back of an ambulance, but we're the ones that are wrong. Like, I'm a mandated reporter. I think that's the thing too. Like, I'm a mandated reporter as a teacher. So if I see abuse, or if I'm told of abuse, or I suspect it or something like that, I have to speak on it. And so, and I mean, this is, again, this is a very specific circumstance because it's dealing with children and stuff like that. But
I also
it makes
like
me, it depresses the fuck out of me that people just think that they could just walk by and just watch somebody get, like, are you just gonna walk by and watch somebody beat the shit out of a child or a woman, or like a fair fight between two women, a fair fight between two men? I'm gonna be like, you know what? That I'll be like, I'm not getting in it. But outside of that, like,
listen,
people are counting on nobody saying anything and doing anything.
I understand. I'm not taking that away from you. I'm in a place where at this time in my life, I have to pick and choose. I have to assess the situation, and I have to say, is this worth it?
Is it ever worth it?
When I say, is it worth it, I mean, is it worth losing my life tonight? That's how I think. And that may be extreme, but...
So how would you feel if you walked by... If we took the police out of the calling the cops out of the equation as an alternative.
Okay.
And you walk by and a man is clearly beating on his significant other, a woman. And you don't, as much as it pains you, you don't speak on it, you don't hear about it, and then like you hear on the 11 o'clock news at night that like
she died.
I
would probably feel like shit. But again, I would have to assess that situation and see, like, I'm just not going to be the martyr. I'm not willing to be somebody's martyr just to say, hey, world, I did it. So that way people could be like, he was a man's man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now, granted, again, I said that I'm talking about the way that I would do things based off of just hypotheticals. I can't say that if I was put into a situation that I would react the same way that I'm saying now.
What if you, and then this is my last question for this topic, mm-hmm. And what if it was like you and your guys are walking by and you see that? Then do you think you guys would do you think, knowing your friends, if it was the 3-4 of y'all together and see the same thing, then it's like, is that a different story?
Nah. I think it was us. I think we're definitely jumping in. But that's different. It's a difference between me and my guys who can neutralize the situation or at least try to, and me jumping in by myself.
Okay. Because
even with that, I don't know who they with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
So I mean, it's definitely it's a hard.
It's a tough. No, it's definitely a tough topic, and I don't mind having the conversation. And again, we can have the conversation with other people as well. You can reach out to us at on IG, Lovers Quarrel Show, or Twitter, Lovers Quarrel 7, and,
Yep.
and let me know your feedback. I mean, it is what it is. If you can sway me to think differently, I'm okay with that. But at the end of the day, I just want to get home to my family, and I'm not willing to put my life on the line to try to save somebody else in a situation just to say I did, or just to say whatever. So if that means that if I'm driving by and I see something and I stop and I call the cops or whatever for that situation, I'll be more okay with that outcome than me jumping out and then something happened to me personally. But
Okay. Well, I think that about does it.
it does. This has been yet another episode of Lovers Quarrel.
Yes, it has. And like TJ said, if you want to follow us, we are on Instagram at Lovers Quarrel Show. We are on Twitter at Lovers Quarrel 7. And please continue to email us your thoughts, questions, comments, and feedback at loversquarrelshow@gmail.com. This is the holiday season, so I know we kind of ended on a more like serious note with this episode. It kind of left me a little bummed out, but
Well, we can talk about the amazing things that we are doing.
okay, because I'm like, it put a damper on my mood a little bit.
I apologize.
It's okay. It was a good conversation to
talk
have,
about the tough things,
but it's not. It's just depressing. That's all.
So Dani
People
and I
suck.
are ambassadors
We are.
for the Be Org, which is an organization based in Baltimore, and they are having their sneaker ball. This is happening January 31st in Maryland, in Arundel Mills, close to the Maryland Live, which is a lot of
Casino.
Sorry.
Yes.
But the Be Org, they're a youth development nonprofit providing enrichment programs, college prep, leadership labs, and OST programs. So they give back, and their annual fundraiser is the Sneaker Ball, where you get to wear dress up professional clothing. Am I saying the right thing?
Like gowns, like black tie.
Black tie.
Yes. Not business attire.
Yeah, sorry. So you get to do black tie, but with sneakers.
Sounds like my kind of party.
It was a great opportunity for us to be able to help and be ambassadors and push it forward and just be a part of something this great for what they're trying to do for the kids in Baltimore City. So we'll put a link in the bio for that as well. That way you can check it out. You can check out the Be Org, but you can also purchase your tickets to the Sneaker Ball January 31st, so Friday.
And come see us.
So is that more positive?
That is more positive. Thank you, baby.
So on that note, I'm your guy, TJ.
And this has been another episode of Lovers Quarrel, and that is your guy, TJ.
Okay.
And I am your girl, Dani. And you know that we fuss.
We fight,
but we love.
Bye.
Bye.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.